get my mic on. It's been a little while, as my voice can tell. And it's been a couple weeks since we've had an office hours. And today won't be a complete. We don't have Mike. It's just Jenny and I, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But we're going to be giving you a report on what is the prestige, I'm going to call it, payments conference of the year. It's not the largest. There are actually larger payments and fintech meetups that go on, but this is the one where all the biggest companies show up to. And we're going to talk about what we learned, how it applies to our sales partners across the United States, and why we had a lot of fun in Las Vegas. But it's not going to be just me. Let me make sure that I bring the better looking part of the office hours today. Over on the other side of the screen, on the right-hand side of the screen, most likely how you're looking at it, is Mrs. Jenny Rickle. Jenny, how are you? Have you recuperated? I think, well, you left last Friday early morning, so you haven't been home quite a week from Las Vegas.
Nope.
Are you back to 100%? Are you ready to take on the world?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I actually feel very inspired and energized after these events because there's just so much, right? We got to see a lot of cool vendors, connect with a lot of great people, see everybody. So I feel ready to go, 100%.
Awesome. Well, today, Jenny, we are going to talk. Let's see if I have the right. Oh, it's sharing the wrong screen. Well, now you can see my back. That does look peaceful. So I'm going to figure out which one. I, as always, I'm trying to figure out which buttons to hit. I have way too many buttons to hit. But we're going to be talking today about Transact in review. Jenny, remind me, this was your first Transact, right? Or second? Second. You went last year too. Okay, and I was counting. This is my 11th Transact. Oh, wow. And I've had it in 3 locations in San Francisco. My first ever was in San Francisco. Then most of them have been in Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, and then we've been in Atlanta. And next year it's going to be back in Atlanta. So as we rotate through. But can you kind of give a picture? Because at first I want to start a little bit about just kind of what is ETA Transact. ETA stands for Electronic Transaction Association. It's a trade organization that all major payments organizations involved in. Everything from Visa and MasterCard to ourselves. We are members. They're an accrediting agency, but kind of talk about what the conference feels like, what it looks like, and how it functions as for like yourself as you walk through the show.
Yeah. It's really big. That's the first thing that comes to mind. As soon as you walk in, you can't even see the end of the room when you walk in, right? And it's actually very spread out as well. So it's not like it's crowded or anything. And there are so many vendors with some very awesome booths. And when I say vendors and things like that, you guys, I'm meaning everybody. So it's just people that have point of sale systems. It's going to be other ISOs out there that we take a look at and connect with as well. A lot of different options. It's nice to see old companies that have been around for a while and really see what's up and coming and new. And it's also just a really good vibe to it. A lot of people have games and stuff to get you engaged, and it's really, really nice. And I'm telling you, there is just row after row. So we literally start at one row and we snake through and we go around and look at everything and talk to everybody. And it is just a really, really good time, and spend a lot of time on the show floor just connecting and talking.
And it is where we meet up with the largest group of our. Now, this one happened to be only 2 weeks after, less than 2 weeks after NEAA. So a lot of our people we had just seen, or a lot of the vendors that we work with, like Quick POS and Enroll and Pay and others that are there. Corona, excuse me, man, my voice is killing me. But one of the things that we do is we try to then do meetups. And let's see if I got the right button here. There we go. That's the right screen share. And we did an event on the first night. And can you kind of walk us through, Jenny? We did a 2-stage event with our sales partners. A lot of our vendors were there. Our friends from North were there. And we had over 100 and almost, they tell me 138. I think we probably snuck in 160, 70 people between our 2 venues. That came in, and a few people that shouldn't have been with our group that we were just paying drinks for, that they were there to learn about HVAC. But walk us through our 2 events that we hosted and got to hang out with our partners and a lot of our vendors and our sales vendors together. What was that Wednesday night like?
Oh, it was so much fun. So we started at the Miniature Golf Club Swingers, and it was fantastic. I actually went around with Jace Lee and a few of our partners as well, and we went around and did some mini golfing and fantastic food, and really just a good time to see people and connect. And we stayed down there for a few hours, and then from there we went up to the rooftop bar Skyfall, and that was a lot of fun as well. The view was amazing, right? If you ever get an opportunity to go up there, I highly recommend it. And kind of back to if you ever get an opportunity to come to a PayProTec event, we love to have a good time, to connect with people, and to really see what, we just make it bigger and better every time, I feel like. Oh, you're on mute, Nate.
Cough button. So I totally agree. And this, I think each year we get better and better at throwing our events, better and better at trying to make sure they're exactly how we want them to be, that represent really the ethos of who PayProTec is, the fun that we want to have, but also the focus on helping us grow. And at the end of this video, as we record here today live in front of a lot of you here watching live, but those who are watching afterwards, we'll announce our next event, which is only just a few weeks away, and we'll talk about that. And you'll getting a little sneak peek, because the first emails go out tomorrow and Monday, talking about these events. So we're going to give you that sneak peek. But let me also talk about some of my insights on this show. So the first thing that I noticed about the show is there were 16 POS terminals, but I mean like handheld terminals, most of them from China, a lot of them using the same hardware and different software. And it was terminals, and everybody had a terminal. You have a terminal, you get a terminal. I felt like it was Oprah in there. Just everybody was giving me a terminal. And at the end of the day, my takeaway of the show, and for some reason this hit me more. There's always there. Our friends from Valor were there. Our friends from Deja Vu were there. Our friends from PAX were there. But then there were these smaller and bigger companies that I had never even heard of, some of them, a lot of them who are coming and wanting to work on our EPX platform. There are already a lot of them on the Fiserv and the global platforms that we can connect to. And they're like, here's your terminal. And at the end of the day, I would say, look at the booth over there. This terminal looks exactly like that terminal I just saw it over the booth. Tell me how it's different. And they would never be able to answer that question. And they will say things like, well, this is our proprietary software. Well, basically what they did is they wrote an Android app to put on these devices, and they're trying to sell. And at the end of the day, I think my takeaway was, and Jenny, you deal with our partners a lot, but too many options sometimes can be a little bit of fear and can kind of make us work too slow. And I think we just need to choose a couple terminals that we use, whether it's our Pay Anywhere terminal or your Valor or your Deja Vu. Maybe you really like the Ingenico Desks series that we can do, maybe whatever that is. But don't fall into the trap that a new shiny one that they're coming out here and saying, hey, because what's happening is they're also undercutting each other. And so this one was $4.99 and now it's $4.97 and $4.96 and $2.99. And they're just, and at the end of the day, it's like, look, stick with what you know, make sure it's something you know well. And if it's something you just heard about for the first time, most likely it's not going to be there next year. But I was just shocked how many and some of them with the big 40 by, because these are the show floors where you can get a 40 by 40 or 40 by 80 booth, and you fly stuff, and they're spending $1 million for this booth. And I'm looking at the terminal and I'm like, I don't see any difference. What does it do for us? And it doesn't help our merchant. It doesn't help us sell. It doesn't differentiate. And the only thing that's different is the name. Jenny, any take on that? That was one of my takeaways.
I absolutely agree. And really, you just have to think about it in user, right? It's going to be a handheld or something small. It's going to be a countertop device, or it's going to be a POS system with a different like menu items or retail items. Like there's truly like 3 tiers of functionality. And so when you get in there, it's kind of like what Nate was saying, really just find something that you're knowledgeable about, because along with just having too much, the less that you have out there, the more you can hone in on your knowledge and how things operate. The more that you know how to download a terminal, troubleshoot a terminal, things like that, and it's something that you're a subject matter expert on, the better off you're going to be. If you have too many out there and you're calling different companies for tech support and things like that, it just gets messy and sticky. So I definitely agree. There's a lot of options out there. PayProTec has a lot of great options, but we also keep it simple, right? We have small mobile devices, countertop solutions that are simple, and point of sale systems, right? So, and then you can just go from there.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, simple is usually better. And when it comes to terminals, for some reason, there are more and more companies that are using the exact same hardware and just simply different software that are coming. And that's been true for a long time. And the form factors are all very similar, and just choose something that, and if you need help, then that's what your relationship managers, that's where our trainers can come alongside you and help you make those decisions. But for the most part, they're all generally the same. There's a few things that change, but you guys have to find the one that fits for you and not like put everyone. And I watched some partners that went to the show floor and they're like, hey, I saw this brand new XYZ. I won't throw the thing. And I was like, well, did you notice that the booth next door was selling the exact same hardware, just with the different software? And they've been with us for a lot longer. Why would you go with the new one? Well, it's a new name. I'm like, well, I don't know that that's a good thing. So that would be my takeaway. Point number 2 of our 5 things we're going to talk about, the takeaways from ETA. Number 2, and this is always true about whether NEAA or ETAA or coming up at SEAA, how many EAAs and EAs can I put together all in one? EIEIO. But in-person matters. In the world where we're selling things more and more, and a higher percentage of our deals are sold through the phone. They're sold through emails. But at the end of the day, there is extreme value being face-to-face, being able to have a coffee together, have a drink together, share a meal, shake hands as we get to know each other, give a hug, and remind each other that we're in this together, and in-person matters. And I think not only does it matter in our relationships with our wonderful sales partners, and it's why we do events and hope that you will come in and hang out with us and we get to meet you, not just over the phone, but I think it matters. I said this to several of our call centers recently. I know you do a great job on call centers, but you will do a better job in the call centers if your people occasionally go out on the street and go talk to the merchants face to face, see what they're doing, seeing what they're handling, how they're working through it. And that is the same. I think just relationships matter, and being in person matters at times. Doesn't mean that this wonderful world that we live in, that I get to be working at home right now. Jenny's in a wonderful office in Colorado. We're talking over a technology that is, it expedites and grows our business exponentially, for sure. But in-person matters, and I really became convicted of that. I love being around our sales partners. I love being able to go. We went out to a wonderful dinner with Quick POS and the Quick team that was there with Tom and Ming, the co-founders. And that's something that, I've had that opportunity to do, but a lot of our other staff had not had the opportunity to do. It matters to be in person. Jenny, any comments on that as I went on my soapbox?
No, I can't echo everything that you said. It's really great to connect with everybody. And then when you pick up the phone and you're talking to them, it's like, hey, Ben, hey, Greg, hey, Mike, right? You have that connection there, and then just that is being a voice, right? So come see us, you guys. If you ever can get a chance to come to the AA shows or any of those, come see us. And then, like Nate said, we're going to have an announcement soon, and then we have more coming up throughout the year. And come hang out the PayProTec group.
So this is a little bit of what I saw on 2 of our shows. Get serious about financing. And this is something we've had. We have a partnership with Cash Buoy for over a decade. And I actually walked the show floor and talked for a long time with Sean Fian, the founder of Cash Buoy, and that was fun. But we also have talked to Walt from smallbusinessloans.com, who we met up with at NEAA. He came to one of our dinners there, as well as he had a booth at the ATA show. And one of the things I was thinking about is, and this is something we're going to create content around, we don't provide financing. This is financing for your merchant, meaning they need a loan to do something. They need a MCA, merchant cash advance, to be able to invest in their payroll or even in facilities or growth, or consumer financing, where they're offering loans to be able to fulfill the products that, hey, we're a construction company and we're going to provide and give those loans. Financing is one of those tools and one of those things that if you want to take that next step in payments, you certainly should start thinking and learning about financing. We're going to be creating more content over the next several months about this. Jenny, you and I have not talked about this, but we have hung out with Walt together. We've talked. I don't know if you got to go over to their booth. I know I went twice because they had the cool touchscreen giant thing. I was just geeking out on their technology that they'd put into for their cool booth. And I was like, man, I want this. I wish I didn't always have to do tabletop booths. At a lot of our shows, that was all we can do though. Yeah, it's not something we spend a lot of time on. It's just kind of a side. Our partners who are looking and considering finance, they're getting money from someplace.
Yep.
They might as well be getting it from you, and you might as well and creating those relationships. It doesn't mean it has to be a lot of work. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, well, it just kind of goes hand in hand, right? If you're going to provide credit card processing, let's say you're setting up a salon and they need some overhead to buy new sinks and chairs and stuff, or maybe it's going to be a restaurant and they need to go ahead and buy some furniture and things like that. So this really can go hand in hand with, you can provide a solution to accept credit cards, and you can also provide a solution to go ahead and get their business up and running, and then use a credit card processing to pay it back. So it's a really nice solution, right? So it just goes full circle. So I definitely agree with Nate. Look into this if you're not offering it already. It's something really nice that you can offer in addition to the credit card processing services, and really offer that to the businesses that come your way.
Love it. Love it. All right. Number 4, hit the right button. AI told me to say this. The fact is, every booth, there were a few, but everyone had some type of, we can help AI, we can help with this, it can help with that. And AI is everywhere. And you see that, and obviously any technology news, general news, AI is there. If I go look at my emails, it's trying to sell me 15 different AI products, and 5 of them were probably written by AI, and no, a person never looked at it. AI is certainly relevant across many levels of payments. It's going to revolutionize how we do underwriting. It's going to revolutionize how we mitigate risk. It's going to revolutionize how we make sure that payments are legitimate and can be funded even faster. It's going to change how we can make sure that our partners can create more and quantity and quality of content to be able to tell who their story is. AI is everywhere. It was on the show floor. It was a whole track of training. AI told me to say this. It's not quite there yet, and you don't have to be scared of it. But what I love is, we had panels, and I walked up the panel. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but I looked at everyone, and they're have a whole panel about how AI is affecting the payments. And I thought to myself, not one of these people actually code pay, because I wouldn't want to be on that panel. I know how to use, I don't know how to create. And right now we're still in the creation of putting those tools together. And then we're going to bring it to you and say, look how this is changing your business. But AI is there. It's relevant in the fact that, we're starting to see our POS companies say, hey, we are an AI company. We're going to manage your inventory. We're going to, take pictures of your menu and automatically. And those are just scraping the top of what AI is going to do for us, but it's not quite there yet. I think we're 18 months away from it having a major effect, but it is going to have an effect. Jenny, any comments on this one at all?
Oh, just proofread things that AI creates for you. Because like you said, it's almost there, but it's not quite. And so especially when you're with payment processing, like, it kind of has a good outline of what you're offering and what you're trying to say, but also just dot your I's and cross your T's when you're using AI for, like you said, for now, it's not quite there yet. So
yeah, these large language models that most of us know, like 95% of what AI is doing and machine learning is doing, we don't see. And we see the ChatGPTs, the Geminis, the things that are consumer fronting to us, and then we're going and using them. And I can tell, I use it. Absolutely. I'm not scared of AI. I'm embracing AI. I love my computer overlords. I love, they're good friends of mine. In fact, maybe they'll be my best friends. But at the same time, I can tell when people write emails to me and that it just came from an AI, because it's going to be it's going to lack nuance. And I see it in our stuff too. And it's something when I'm hands off, I'm like, man, it needs to have a little personality, but all this is coming. It's coming. We've got lots going on with it. And then our last one, I'm going to say this show, and this has been a growing truth. People say, should I come to ETA Transact? If you want to, you can. Number one, I realized I'm not on the screen that's showing the sign. Us versus them. So number 5. This is my 5th takeaway. There is this bigger divide between the largest companies who this week lost and gained trillions of market value, and our wonderful people that are helping the small and medium businesses that work with PayProTec, our sales partners that are in all 50 states, some are individuals and some are offices and call centers of hundreds, that are making an impact and helping small and medium businesses. But the fact is, the biggest, and I'm not even going to name names because the AI will tell them and they will tell me, but there are large companies, a lot of them with 4 letters, or some of them that don't even mind. They're so big, they're like, I don't need to put my name on my logo. We're just 2 circles. These giant, incredible companies that can gain and lose trillions of dollars of value in one day have less and less empathy and relevance to us in our day to day, but they will have impact. And that's why should you go to a show like Transact? Going to be pretty expensive. You're going to spend $5,000 to $7,000 to be there, to be on the show floor, to go to the meals, to travel in, to stay at the hotels. Maybe you can do it a little cheaper and stay. And you're going to spend 2 hours in Ubers every day coming back and forth. It's important for us to be there because we're going to keep our finger on the pulse of what's happening, and we're going to talk to all the bigger players and be able to translate it and transliterate it into a place that helps all of us who are helping the small and medium businesses across the U.S. But at the end of the day, they're not thinking about us. They're not on our mind. And the decisions they make often affect us, but weren't because of us. And so one of the things we have to do is be on the lookout that way, realize that. And that's what we're trying to do, because we want to stand in the gap and be there for our partners to make sure that we bridge the capability of you helping Main Street America, small and medium businesses. And even as you grow and start serving 300, we're setting up right now a 380 location business. And, those are giant businesses. They start creeping up onto those Forbes lists and all the Fortune 500 lists and all those things. But at the end of the day, most of our partners, we are dealing day in and day out with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions. And the companies that are showing up at a show like Transact, they start at the billions and reach up to the trillions. And when you have that, we have to be an advocate and an ambassador, but realize that they're not looking out for us. So that's where PayProTec stands in, because we're trying all we can to look out for you, and we only grow when you're there. And I've just become more and more convicted and convinced that the us versus them is a larger gap than it was 5 years ago in this industry. But it's also more of an opportunity, because when we come together and we work together, we will grow our business, because they are not thinking about the SMBs, even though there are millions and millions of them. They're somehow forgetting to focus on that. And we're going to be able to bridge that gap, bring the quality services and merchant services and POS services and financing that they need. And we're going to be able to do something special. All right. Another one of my soapboxes. As you can tell, I put all this together and just said, Jenny, come in and comment. What do you have to say? What do you think about what I think? Or tell me that I'm wrong. Jenny, anything to add to that before you give us our closing statement words and we talk about what's coming up in June 2nd through 4th?
Yeah, it really is. Just like you said, within the past 5 years, I would say even maybe like 10 years, the gap is getting larger between them and us, right? So definitely whenever you can connect with us, even if it's just to come over and say, hey, reach out, right? We have a lot of shows. We have a lot of opportunities. Take advantage, come hang out, join together, connect. It's a lot of fun and it helps everything.
I love it. All right. Let me make an announcement right here. At SCAA, we are trying to bring as many of our partners. So next week on Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to draw, and we've already drawn a few of them. We're paying for 20 of our partners. If you did business with us in March, you are eligible to do this, to come hang out with us in Orlando, Florida at SCAA. We're going to pay for your room, and we're going to pay for your flight up to $500. It's a pretty good deal. And on top of that, the trade show, SCAA, I forget what the floor pass is, was less than $200 and maybe less than $100. There's places that we can play. And then on top of that, Jenny, this is going to be fun. I don't even know if you know the name, because I announced this yesterday, because I came up with it just recently. Usually in my nighttime brainstorming sessions between midnight and 3 a.m., that's where I get my best ideas. Going through, because on most of us will fly in on June 1st. Unfortunately, Jenny will not be with us. Please don't hold that against us. She's having a special time. She has been the first 2 shows this year, but a lot of our team will be there. Danny will be there, Jason Lee, others. We're going to fly in on June 1st. We will give you your first drink in all the show. We're the First Drinks on Us sponsor. So when you check into the hotel, you'll get a drink on us. Then this June 2nd and 3rd are the main show days for the SEAA. We're going to have our own parties in our rooms at times. We're working on that. We're going to announce that. And then on June 4th, we are bringing back a live training. We're going to do a 4-hour intensive training from 1 to 5 p.m., and we're calling it Fuel, a training experience powered by PayProTec. And it's going to be a unique experience I've been putting together the last couple of weeks. We're going to be giving away new training for how you can be the best, most successful salesperson in the industry. And there's going to be ways for you to understand merchant services, point of sale, how to sell in hospitality, retail, B2B. And we're going to be giving those tools. It's going to be, I hope, extremely practical 4 hours of your life. And then we're heading over and going to have a wonderful dinner together on the night of the 4th, all while being in Orlando. And I know a lot of our partners are just going to end up spending the whole week there and take in there are some small little companies there. You have Universal. We're going to be staying on, I mean, the events is going to be at the property. It's at the JW Marriott Bonnet Creek, which is right on the Disney properties. So you have Disney, you have Universal, you have SeaWorld, and you could probably, I don't know, there's a really big McDonald's that has a big arcade if you just want to do that. There's all kinds of stuff to do in Orlando. It's going to be a great time. Jenny, she's going to be on a vacation.
I'm not going to be there, right?
Yep.
Sounds like a blast.
So we're looking forward to it. Emails will go out hopefully tomorrow. I saw one just came in, a draft of the emails. So if you submitted business in March, you're going to get a sneak peek and the first chance. There will be limited seats, though. Really, I hope that I don't know exactly. We're working right now to how many people we can fit in the room, in the ballroom. I think we can fit like around 120, 130. So we're hoping that I would love to fill it. We'll see how that happens. But one, you're going to get to come one of the best trade shows that we go to every year, the Southeast Acquirers Association, SEAA, and walk the show floor, talk to other partners. You're going to get free PayProTec swag. You're going to get more parties than the SEA is putting on because we'll have some special times just where we're paying for extra drinks and special times. Plus, we're a sponsor of the show there. And on top of that, you get to come to Fuel. Some may choose just to come to Fuel on that June 4th. That's going to be June 4th, 1 to 5. That's a Wednesday. It's a great way to kick off the middle of your week and start off the June. I can't think of anything better. It's going to be fun. So I hope people will join us in beautiful, sunny Orlando. In early June, it may be 95 degrees, but it may be 75. June, sometimes early June, it's not quite 100. If this is the middle of July, it's 1,000 degrees. But we're gonna, have some fun in beautiful, sunny Florida for a time. I'm looking forward to it.
Heck yeah.
So. All right, Jenny, how are you going to close us as we close up our time here, as we think about Transact 2025, and as we move forward, as we've we've got one full weekend plus 2 days, 3 days, depending on how you count it. We're 10 days. We're on the 10th, so we're into the the second quarter. I'm already jumping ahead because I was just in a meeting about fourth quarter stuff. We're in the second quarter. Sorry, guys. Didn't want to scare you. We just finished the first quarter. We're in the second quarter of 2025. Jenny, what do you say to our partners?
You guys, we appreciate you so much. And if you have the opportunity to come connect with us at SEAA or any of our shows, please do so. As we kind of finish up this show talking about our experience at ETA, I've also had the opportunity to go to NEAA, and I'm going to go to the show in Chicago. And there's just a lot out there where we can all hang out, make some connections, make sure to grow your business, right? So we're there to help. And I just heard about the Fuel thing. So really take advantage of that as well. Come hang out with PayProTec. We'd love to meet you.
Well, we are so thankful for this music as we're playing. Fun. I hit a button. It's playing some music. I thought it was going to be something else. That's how we roll. We want to see you June 2nd to 4th. We'll see you next week on Office Hours. I think Mike will be back. But at the end of the day, we're here for you. Thank you so much for being part of the PayProTec family. And we'll see you next time on Office Hours. Bye, everybody.